Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. Good morning, Sue. How are you this morning? So good, I hope. So good. So we have so much to talk about today, but I told myself that I was not going to come in with a plan today. I have a plan of doing an art journaling entry and I have a loose plan, I should say. So I have a color scheme that I want to work with. Pink, big surprise. And I've gathered a whole bunch of pink things, or things that I feel like just I'm just feeling this morning. I also have pieces from my Aunt Junie art printable, and so I want to incorporate those today. So I just feel like I am ready to just freely create this morning. I'm just kind of feeling that. I hope you all are too. I hope that you're just good morning, Melinda. How are you? So I'm feeling like that is just kind of where I'm feeling that's where we should be today. I don't know. I'm just kind of, Jeff left on a business trip today. Good morning, Misty. How are you? Hi, Nancy. Hey, Elizabeth. I am still in my pajamas. He is and I'm usually right there with him. He's a up and ready to start the day person. And I am, but today I just felt like doing it in my pajamas. You know what I mean? So, who is ready to get started? If you are brand new here, if you would please follow, like, and subscribe to Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then if you would also be sure to like this video and, hey, Trace, like this video and comment. And you can even share this video if you'd like. I will be eventually putting it onto my YouTube channel. But just know that that's kind of where things are going. Good morning, Jennifer. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott. That is where the cool kids hang, just so you know. Oh, I wanted to talk about upcoming classes. So I have, not this weekend, next weekend. Good morning, Jennifer. We have two classes, like two paid classes. One is Let's Get Artsy with Our Bibles. And oh my gosh, I can hardly wait to share this one with you. So we're doing this multi-layer butterfly right in the center of the page. Hey, Renee. And, so we have one layer on watercolor paper, one layer on vellum. Look at that. Oh, I can hardly wait. So that is available for open for registration on my website, Corbiere-Scott-Designs.com. And then on Sunday is Artsy Alchemy 3. Artsy Alchemy 3 is art journaling taken up a notch, and that is on the 24th, I believe. The Bible journaling is on the 23rd, and Artsy Alchemy 3 is on the 24th, and we are going to be creating some collage fodder for our art journals, and then we're going to be using that fodder that we've created. And this month is all about mushrooms. So this is only one of the printables that you'll get. We'll be doing all kinds of fodder with these. See, Artsy Alchemy 2. And look at it, I spelled it wrong again. Honestly. Honestly. Oh, I spell it wrong every time. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to set that aside. And Artsy Alchemy is open for registration also. I was not going to do lives this week, Tam, but because this is usually when my sister and I take our trip, but we have a family member who's having some health challenges, and so we postponed our trip until another day. Good morning, Michelle from work. Hey, Valerie. Hi, Vicky. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, Kathy. How are you today? So, I wanted to talk a little bit about, hey, Julie. Good morning. You are brand new here, I believe. If you would follow, like, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. Then you are abreast of all the fun things. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. That would be great. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this. Yes, you can absolutely still donate to Tessa. So my friend Tessa is a 4th grade teacher, and she has a goal this year. She teaches 2 4th grade levels. And so one of her goals this year was to teach them to be organized and make a plan. And don't you wish you would have learned that in 4th grade? And she's just the most amazing teacher. She teaches them through experience a lot. So that's going to be so much more ingrained in their noggins, you know? Anyway, I put out the challenge yesterday or the day before to let's help Tessa clear her list. So she has a Amazon wish list, and she wants to, because of so she has this Amazon wish list, and on the wish list are these binders that will help teach the children how to be organized, keep their schoolwork together, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's asking for donations, and so she's a little over halfway there. So my goal was maybe we can help her clear that list to get all the binders, get all the I think there's dividers that go in there, something like that. Anyway, or, you know, so you can buy that and have it shipped to her, or you can just donate some money. The link is further down my page, and there's so many ways that you can help. And gosh, what's a better way than helping a teacher? What's a better way than helping a teacher? Okay, let's see. Michelle says, I have a story to tell you. I'm in a doctoral program, and this week in my research class, they suggested we take art classes to practice looking at the world in a new way, tapping into art. Shut up, Michelle. How cool is that? You're already there, sister. Okay, so this page. So remember, art journaling is all about layers and working out our thoughts and feelings and experimenting and playing with some new techniques and all of those things, right? So I have these pages. I have a couple pages throughout my art journal that I painted with watercolor ground. I think we've talked about this before. Watercolor ground turns anything into watercolor, gives it watercolor properties, right? So anyway, Um, I like to just every now and again switch it up again, right? So like some pages I have glued 2 pages together. Some pages I haven't. Some pages I use some watercolor ground. Good morning, Sandy. How are you? So I have a piece of deli paper behind here because I have this really pretty drawing that I did of bridal wreath flowers that Keely sent me. So I want to protect that. But this page I want to paint. So I'm going to use my Daniel Smith tube watercolors again. So you're going to need a palette. Remember we've talked before about when you find a new material or medium or technique, do it a bunch of times. So I keep using this. This week I am hooked on my Daniel Smith Opera Pink watercolor, right? So just know that you can, the way you get proficient and learn it and get to know your art materials and mediums is by using it. So I'm going to add some water, and then I'm going to mix that pigment in there. Oh, Vicki, thank you so much. Be sure to tell Jennifer we said thank you. And hi, Sandy. Where are you watching from, Sandy? I'm going to add a little bit more water. I have these pipettes, and can I tell you, they're the best water adders. Because I just want this to be a watery wash of pink, right? So I just want to get that down first. And I love Idaho. Hey, that is where Miss Tammy is watching from. Living in my own private Idaho. So I'm going to just fill this page with pink. I'm just kind of feeling it this morning. And like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to not go with much of a plan today. I really want to just kind of freely create, my art journal entry today. Okay, so let's wash that brush, tap it off on our Well, I would love a farmhouse too. I grew up in a farm community. No way, Jennifer. That's so cool. So Tammy, Jennifer, and Sandy, you need to all say what town you live in, and let's see how close they are. So let's, hi, Auntie. Everybody say good morning, Auntie. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit because I had this idea. So I just started to gather all kinds of things that I just have in my stash. And I know you have some things in your stash too. So, there you go, Trees. So I have all kinds of bits and pieces over here. Look, I have a wrinkly doily. Oh, Sarah, where is your vacation home? I have a movie ticket that my son and I went to a movie a long time ago, and it was a special moment in life for us. I have look at, I have these hearts that are, I have this little piece of leftover I think it's deli paper that was painted and painted and painted. I have these strips. I have some book paper. I have, seriously, look at it. It's all different. Oh, I have, look at this. I have a wax seal with my initial on it. And then I have those pieces, remember the other day, those pieces from the Aunt Junie art printable that I cut with that postage stamp die. So I have all of those, but then I also have, I just started thinking of stuff. I have this. Do you remember, Teresa, we went to that restaurant and they gave us these printed deli paper, and then I asked the guy if I could buy some. I have a bunch of black and pink washi tapes. I have some text from a magazine. I have bubble wrap in 2 different sizes, of course. And then I have some security envelopes, and look at the different, look at this pattern and then look at this pattern. Those are kind of the same, but you know, you have security envelopes come with all different. That's right, Teresa. We did buy Tim's seasoning from there. We did. I think I might have bought some for Jeff too. I have bits and pieces of leftover jelly plate prints. See them all? Right? Oh, here's a my off page. There's some more. And then when we did I think it was an Artsy Alchemy 2, we did bleeding art tissue. And if you've never used bleeding art tissue, then you just have to do it. But this is the piece that my spent bleeding art tissue, which still has lots of color on it. But look at it, has that cool pattern from my stencil. So, oh, speaking of stencils, I brought 2 stencils out. I have this one and this one. So this one is from Joggles. The big one is from Joggles, and it is from Elizabeth St. Helier. It's one of her designs, and this is a Tim Holtz Bubbles, which you know Keely teases me all the time that my other stencils are going to get jealous because I just play with that one so much. But my thought was, so I wanted to get some pink down first, and then I'm thinking that I want to get some of this print down, but I don't know if I want to do a strip or if I want to like tear a corner. I don't know. Everybody take a drink. So we're nice and hydrated. So let's, because I kind of like the columns, so I'm thinking I could just kind of roughly cut those. I just think that might be kind of cool. To include, because everything else will be quite organic, right? So I thought it might be cool to have like a linear element, right? So let's set that aside. And that one, I don't know, maybe I just thought it would be cool to have these if I want the pink to show through, so I have my matte medium that I'm going to adhere them with. I just thought that might be a kind of a cool thing as a first layer. And then I don't know where I want to go. And I told myself I was trying really hard to not plan it out in my head. which I often do. So I'm thinking about, maybe I want to put the bleeding art tissue down first and then this on top of that. That might be kind of cool. Or how is that going to look on top of that? I mean, everything's going to be down with matte medium. So you know what? Let's just start. I need to quit overthinking it, you know? So let's do... Just tear a piece of this. Oh, and I wonder if I just, I can just, hey Mary Dean, how are you? What if we just do this? What if we just go down with some water first, see what kind of happens. Let that dry, see what happens. If the, remember, because your art journal is all about experimenting. What works, what doesn't work, what, where are we going to go with this? What's going to happen, and then what do we do with what happens, you know? So I'm just going to put some water down and let that just really, oh, look at all that pretty color, that pretty pink that's coming off of the bleeding art tissue that we can just paint up on the page. Look how pretty that is. I mean, I know that I want to create like a cool background, and then I know that I want to create kind of the creative cluster down here. So I'm gonna tear that piece off right there. I'm kind of digging that, how it just kind of, do you see how that tore away right there? That's kind of cool. So now we need to clean that off. And then let's give that a dry. So how about, is anyone creating with me this morning, or are you just watching me? I would like to know. And if you're creating, like, did you pick a color? Are you just kind of going with the flow as the, you know, kind of as the ideas kind of pop in your head? I know I just know that I want lots of texture and lots of big surprise, Teresa. Sorry, Kina. My sister's just a watcher. This is a little too much for my sister, I'm sure. But that's okay. We are opposites, but we work very well together. Oh, Sarah, do tell. What are you? So, what's your Harry Potter art? We want to know. So wait until you, hey Laura. Wait until you see the fodder that we're going to create in Artsy Alchemy. Oh, so much fun. I think this is dry. Let's see. Let's see what happened. Oh, look at that. Hardly anything. That's kind of weird. But I kind of think I like the idea of the darker pink. What do you guys think? I kind of like that, how that was laying there. So I'm thinking I'm gonna dry this, and then let's get a layer. I think I'm gonna just stick it down, you know what I mean, with some matte medium, because I really liked that darker. There we go. Right? Yeah, I kind of really liked that. So let's get some, oops, matte medium on our brush, and then we're just going to cover that whole area. And luckily, we can see exactly where it was because of the shape, the bleeding tissue left there. Okay. And because we can kind of move things around. And I love all those wrinkles that are kind of appearing. Look at that. So pretty. Ooh, and let's get this down too, because I think that might be kind of cool. My Aunt Dee has a friend who is an amazing artist, and she painted. One day I got a text from my aunt. She just lives in like one town over. And she sent me a text and she said, which one do you like best? And she sent me pictures of like 6 different Frida Kahlo pillows. So I picked one, and then she brought it to me. How cool is that? So now she is proudly sitting on a chair in my living room. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get most of that out of there. And now I'm thinking I want to do the these pieces like that. Do you know what I mean? So that it's cut off that little bit there. Just because I like the idea of, like I said, something linear juxtaposed to something so organic. I like mixing those up. So let's get some matte medium down there. And then we'll put shorthand typist down. Love that. And then let's do this one too. Chop off the end of that one. Maybe we want that one over here. Oh, what do you think of that? Kind of digging that idea. Oh, look at that. So I need to do that over there. If I go over and it's pink, let's get some more matte medium under there, and then we can go over it, because then it just, I love when it just kind of becomes part of the background, you know. I love that. I know, bleeding art tissue is just the bomb, isn't it? My great niece Desiree and I had ourselves so much fun with bleeding art tissue. Oh, I'm loving that. I'm loving that, loving that, loving that. So let's clean that brush. And then I think I want to come in with some oh, let's see. When I use bleeding art tissue, I often have large areas of white. Okay, so a couple of things might be happening, Michelle. You might be not using enough water. Could that be part of the issue? Or, yeah, so I don't use lighter tones, you know. That's how I avoid that. I just like deeper tones, more substantial colors. But you might, it's certainly not going to have the same pigment as like a hot pink, right? So that's something to consider. You might consider putting a base color down first and then doing bleeding tissue over it. That's an idea. Yeah, I just really like the idea of seeing what happens if you paint a watery wash, let it dry completely, either with a dryer or naturally, and then coming back with your bleeding art tissue, wet your surface, and then wet your bleeding art tissue, and then let it dry naturally. I do find I have way better results when I let things dry naturally. You just have to have some patience, and you know what? That's not always high on my list. Anyway. What other things do I have here? So I have some stencils, and so I thought that we could, while that is drying, we could fiddle around with some ideas with stencils. So I wanted this kind of monochromatic. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking pinks and black and white. If I stick with those three, because the black and the white will absolutely make those other colors pop. So I'm going to come in with picked raspberry, distress ink, and just where's my little, there we go. And get some color on there. See if that, oh, that is showing. Ooh, so exciting. I do too, Sandy. Oh, look at that. Let's do some over here. Yep. Then let's change our stencil around a little bit. Good morning, Carol. Are you home? You're right. You're right. You're right, Sarah. Just might get that oxide out. So I'm feeling like that's pretty good with that. But I also have this stencil. And I feel like that might be kind of a cool, like I said, a cool juxtaposition with the round organic. You must have left the room, sister. I put it down and I wet it and I dried it, and then I lifted it and there was hardly any color. So then I just glued it down. Hi, Terry. Let's see what happens there. Ooh, shut it. That's kind of cool, right? Let's see. I kind of like the idea of doing this crossbar. seeing what that happens with that. Nice. Ooh, there's a big triangle. That's kind of cool. Nice. I just like all of those layers and layers and layers and layers just give so much cool visual interest, you know? So I'm going to set that aside because I have these, like I said, I have these security envelopes, which, you know, I love me a security envelope. Oh, Carol, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, golly. Well, I haven't showered yet, Tam. I'm still in my pajamas. Jeff left on a business trip this morning, so you know what? Let the pajama days begin. It also deepens the words. It does, doesn't it? I know, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Hi, Terry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, Carol, I hope we're a little bit of a distraction for you this morning. That's for sure. So I'm kind of liking that. My thought was that I have this, remember I told you I have this wrinkly doily, which I thought might be kind of cool, but I think I want to paint it so that it's, not so, because look at that, it's so stark, right? But I'm feeling like if I paint it, let's move that. We can paint this with pink. And it's going to be pretty light. Maybe I should have done it right on my page and gotten that little bit of like the doily stencil. Well, all right. I will paint it with oxide ink in just 1 minute. San, I will paint it with that first. And then I think okay. Let's paint. Let's dry this. And then I'm wondering, what do you think? Like this should be just slightly stronger because it has a coat of something on it, right? It'll be a little bit stiffer. And then I can use the oxide on top of the paint, the watercolor, right? I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's all a big experiment, isn't it? So let's see if we bring the art journal back. And we use the Distress Oxide on the doily, but the doily is going to kind of serve as a... Hey, Keels. Hi, Beverly. Maybe a stencil. I don't know. Let's see what happens. And I think I'm gonna go as far around as I can. Right? Lots of texture. I have tried smush technique and I love it. I love it. I've tried it with oxides and with just regular distressed inks and with watercolor paints and you know. Oh, you guys, look at that. Oh, Keels, you're gonna have yourselves a time, I'm sure. Your cabin was amazing. I think I really want to go over these edges a little bit more. I'm really liking that little bit of the doily. Stop it! How cute is that? All right, so now let's cut this in half. Let's go this way. We already have a little rip here, so let's go this way. And it's not perfectly in half, but oh, kind of digging that. What do you think, guys? Kind of digging that, or that, but then this. Oh my gosh, you must have had such an amazing time at that cabin. It just looked beautiful. And I was going to ask you, was it an Airbnb? It kind of looked like maybe it was. So do you see, this is so stark. I don't know what I need to do with that background to kind of, you know, zhuzh it up a little bit. I have that piece and this piece that I was thinking about using. I'm kind of liking that, you guys. Maybe this. Like tucking it under like that. What do you think? And then I have all these little bits and pieces. Like I said, I still have all of these washi tapes. I have, what else do I have in here? That faux washi tape that I created for something, somewhere along the line. Kind of like that. Little piece of cut off jelly plate print. I think I have one of those hearts, but in like a white heart that I thought might be cool. Oh, I have this one too. The white heart I thought might be cool with, I could paint it. Or I could do, I don't know. And the quote that I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. But the quote that I want to include on this entry is a quote that I've carried around in my art bag for probably 20 years. And you can barely read it anymore. And it's just on a little piece of watercolor paper that I wrote in pencil. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. Pablo Picasso. And you know what? Ain't that the truth? I don't know how I'm going to add it. I haven't figured that part out yet. But I just feel like I'm just feeling that, you know, inspiration comes, but it has to see you working like this. I'm working at my idea, but I just have to, inspiration will come, right? Inspiration will come. So I'm just going to keep playing with my composition. I don't know. Do you guys have any big ideas? I'm kind of looking at this. Look at this pretty rosy pattern I have here from that jelly plate print. That was just, this is my stamping off page. What else do I have in this stack? And these guys. That might be kind of a cool thing. Oh, Carol, you're going to have so much fun. So much fun. So I'm kind of feeling this. What if I did this one? So it's just kind of a, kind of taking that idea. Let's get some matte medium down. Right there. I'm telling you, a jelly painting is so addictive. I'm dying to get my sister hooked on it. Ha ha ha. My sister is very linear, and she likes to do puzzles. And I do not. But one time when she was here, I got a request from Adorn It. They needed 12 designs, like, by the next day. And I had some things that would work. But then I was like, hey, Trees. And she had just started a puzzle. I was like, I need to draw. Can you puzzle while I draw? And she was like, yeah, sure. We just sat up to the wee hours, didn't we, Trees? And we just both had ourselves a time. A little bit more glue under there. Kind of digging that. See, I told you, we work really well together. We just, as long as we're both doing our thing. Really like this down here. I'm really feeling that. This, I'm feeling like, what if I have this little bit. Well, I love to watch you puzzle. So that works out well. Because I can see how your brain works when you do that. What if we just add a little bit of pink on there? Shut it. That's cute, right? Michelle, that's so funny. Because guess what? I married a puzzler, and my sister's a puzzler. And they do their thing, and I do my thing, and we're all good. So I'm going to paint this heart red, or pink too. But just like a single coat. Kind of digging that. I will bring some more white in here. I'm feeling like I want to do some splatter maybe. And then I also have my Neo 2s, which I thought might be a fun thing to add. Let's dry that. That's so funny. I usually buy, my sister is an expert puzzler, but she's a little bit of an addict, kind of like me with art supplies. My sister can't stop. Once she starts a puzzle, she can't stop. She will continue to puzzle until it's all done, right? My husband is a kind of a dabbler, right? And he's an engineer, so you know how his brain works, right? But one time I bought this puzzle, and Jeff and his best friend Charlie, we have Sunday dinner, and Charlie comes over every Sunday and they work on their puzzles, and they're very serious about their puzzling. But Teresa did a puzzle in like one evening that it took Jeff and Charlie like 3 weekends of putting together. And he was so mad because I kept telling him how my sister was better than him. Come on, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, so I was going to come in with my Neos and my Woodies. I think I have the perfect, like, pinky, I have that pink, but I don't think I'm going to use that. I just like to do, ooh, there we go. Lots of texture, you know? You remember it, Teresa, don't you? You totally remember it. I know you do. So I'm going to pull that off. Hi, Kathy Freeman. How are you? Okay, I'm going to wet my Neo, and I'm just going to do something kind of, hey, Melissa, how are you? Laura, is Carmen a puzzler? Or do you brag and tell your husband that she's better than him? I am so good. Please, I'm art journaling. I do too, Kathy. Those horizontal lines just add to it, don't they? So I'm just going to come in with my Neo. And even though some of this might get covered up, a little tiny bit might peek out. You never know, right? You never know. Oh, hey, Aunt Mer. So that's Aunt Dee's sister. Aunt Mer. Okay, that's enough. I'm going crazy with that. So now I need to let that dry. And then I think, oh, Rusty's the puzzler. Oh, interesting. Aunt Mer, is anybody a puzzler at your house? In your fam? I don't know that I want to use that lighter one. I think I just want this to dry. $2,000 pieces, holy smokes. So my mother-in-law is a freak puzzler too. And I bought her, when we went to the Van Gogh exhibit. Okay, so you've not used Neos. Okay, so Neos are a water-soluble crayon. And they are just about the greatest invention. But you know you'll hear me say that about kind of pretty much. Oh, bye, Sarah. Have a good day at work. So Neos are, like I said, they are Neo 2s are a water-soluble crayon. Neos are an art crayon. So this is a water-soluble art crayon. So I dipped it in water, and then I scribbled some color down. And then the color will move if it's wet. But you can add water, you can add color like this from the end of the Neo, right? You can add color this way. You can just scribble on color. There's a million different ways, right? So they're just such a versatile tool, and that's what I like. I like a versatile art tool. I like to be able to, you know, create layers and layers and layers and layers. And I know I'm not going to finish this by the end of this hour, but I'm not going to rush it. I told myself I wasn't going to rush it. Okay, Sandy, if you go on my website and you go to Anne's Artsy Arsenal, I have all kinds of art supplies that I like to use listed there. And Neo 2s are one of the ones that are listed there. Oh, Aunt Mer, wasn't it just the greatest? So I took my mom and dad to see the Klimt when they were here, but I didn't realize they were showing the Van Gogh and the Klimt just on different days. So I could have taken them to the Van Gogh. Anyway, whatever. I will, you know, I'll take them another day. Because now there's so many, right? I saw there's a Frida one coming. There's a George O'Keeffe. I think that one's in Vegas. There's oh, Vicky, I love that. What a nice memory. That's so funny, Aunt Mer. You know what? That happens all the time. Because there's this little weird delay between when I talk and you guys hear it and then for you to respond. It's always like we're having a delayed conversation. Me and everybody. But, you know, we don't care, do we? Right? We just keep on creating. So I have my Posca pen, which I think I'm going to come in. So remember, always prime it. I'm going to come in and go around some of my Neo. So that's going to start to bring in that white, right? Little bits of white. And sometimes I like to go around them a couple of times, so that sketchy vibe. I kind of like that better. And it gets just a little bit more white on there, But my paper is so lumpy now with all of that layers and layers and layers of pink, right? That it's kind of jiggy-jaggy. But I kind of dig that. There. And remember, it doesn't matter if some of this gets covered up because little corners will peek out. It doesn't matter. Little bits and pieces. Let's go over that one more time. Press a little harder. I don't know. I feel like I need to do a little white splatter maybe, and then I can start to create my creative cluster down here. I'm kind of thinking that way. Hey Madeline, how are you? I don't know, something like that. And then I want to include my like I said, I really want to include my quote by Picasso. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. And that's the stinking truth, isn't it? Oh, you guys, we didn't read out of the comfort book today, so let's do that super quick. All right. Look at my inky fingers. Life is not a ladder to climb, a puzzle to solve, a key to find, a destination to reach, a problem to fix. Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? And that's because yesterday's entry I read during my stitch along, but let's read it. Ladders. We are often encouraged to see life as one continual uphill climb. We talk about ladders without even thinking. Career ladders, property ladders, of being on the top rung of the ladder or the bottom rung of the ladder. We talk of climbing the ladder. We talk of rising up. We talk of uphill struggles. In doing so, we visualize life as a kind of vertical race, like we are human skyscrapers reaching for the clouds. And we risk only ever looking above to the future or below to the past, and never around at the infinite horizontal landscape of the present. The trouble with ladders is they give you no room to move around, just room to fall. So good. So there's something for you to ponder all day, right? Oh, I'm so glad, Sandy. I just love the comfort book. I just love it, love it, love it. It just fills me up, and it gives me something to ponder throughout the day. So now we're over by 3 minutes because Keely's not here to keep me on track. I adore you all. I'm so grateful that you come and just hang with me, and I'm kind of digging just this free creating. So I hope you do some too. Pick a color and then just kind of create with it, however you want. And remember, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. You're working out your issues. You're working out your technical, your artsy techniques, and your just playing, just the freedom of just playing. I adore you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Then you'll know when I go live. I adore you. I adore you. I adore you. I so look forward to hanging with you and creating. And I will see you on Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.